everyone for being here for our winter term 2023 graduation. Give yourselves a round of applause. And we'll be applauding a lot today, but thank you for making it here. How many came from out of state for this? Several. Thank you so much for making the trip and for being here. We did finally manage to get our order for less snow through, and so the roads were clearer. We appreciate that. But no, this has been the craziest, longest, darkest, snowiest, coldest winter like ever. And so yet, all through that winter term, today we have 11 graduates who have finished their transition plans, which means that they've spent 2 to 3 years working on the goals that they set for themselves for personal improvement and for learning skills in the live, work, and thrive areas, becoming resilient and successful adults. And honestly, this group is absolutely amazing. So I'm so thrilled that we're here. I'm Jared Stewart, Program Director here at ScenicView Academy. Marty Matheson, our Executive Director, and Ryan Miller, our other Program Director, send their regards. They are, unfortunately, at a conference in Houston, Texas that they could not get out of because it was our one chance to go see a different program, and we're always looking for other programs to help us learn how to improve ours because we know our program is not perfect. I've worked here now for 21 years next month, which is absolutely insane. I came to ScenicView, thank you, yeah. I came to ScenicView. I was a special educator. I taught junior high for a year, and I'd realized that public school and I just didn't get along very well, and I was not going to do that forever. And so I was going to go off to grad school to get my master's in special ed, and I needed a summer job. And this has been a 21-year summer job here at ScenicView Academy. But it was also at ScenicView Academy, my very first day here, that I was sitting down and I was asked to do some reading tutoring with one of the students. And I was sitting with the student, and we were practicing reading. I said, okay, so what book are we going to be reading together today? And he said, it's The Oasis Guide to Asperger's Syndrome. And I said, the what? To what now? And I'd never heard of Asperger's. And then within just a couple of years from there, my youngest brother got diagnosed with autism, and I got diagnosed with Asperger's, which is now autism, as of 2013. And I'll be really honest, I am so thrilled to be able to work at ScenicView, to be able to help make a difference in the lives of other autistics. But what makes ScenicView awesome is not me, it's not our staff, as awesome as our awesome staff are, and they are awesome. It's our students, our awesome students, and the hard work they put in, showing up every day saying, okay, we're gonna do some stuff I don't feel super confident about, or I'm gonna work on some of my weak areas today. And you guys are honestly heroic in the efforts that you put in. So we're not here to listen to me blab, even though I have that side of autism that doesn't shut up. So I'm going to run us through how the program's going to proceed today. And yeah, very hopeful that we can get through this in a timely manner, but we also really want to give our graduates the time that they deserve. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask our graduates to come sit up and join me on stage here, and you're all going to give them a very great welcome. And in your mind, you're going to play Pomp and Circumstance, okay? You guys, if you don't know what that is, watch it on YouTube, but it's the graduation march, right? Okay, so in your mind, you're going to play Pomp and Circumstance. They're going to walk up here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have, I'm going to call up service coordinators one by one to come up and to speak about the graduates one at a time. And we're going to go in alphabetical order by first name. And after the service coordinator said a few words, we're going to give the graduates opportunities to speak. If you want to speak, you are welcome to speak, even if you said no when they asked you. If you don't want to speak, even if you said, yes, I'll speak, don't worry, you don't need to, okay? But we will then have a picture with you and your service coordinator. Olivia will take those pictures. You'll say a couple words if you want, and then we'll just keep sitting up on the stage. And graduates, again, if sitting up on the stage is too much, you're welcome to take a break and come back. That's totally not a problem. Because if it was me, I wouldn't want to be up here more than I had to, which is the whole time today, as I mentioned. So, no, I'm glad to be here. This is awesome. And hopefully that makes sense. Let me just finish with a quote here. This is Albert Camus. This is one of my favorite quotes. He said, "In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer, and that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, something bigger pushing back." And our graduates today are maybe not invincible, but within them there is something invincible. And watching them power through so many challenges and learn and grow and accept and overcome has just been amazing for these last 2 to 3 years for these students. So, without further ado, everybody got pomp and circumstance in your brain? Okay. Okay, I heard somebody's humming it. Good, okay. Would the following people please rise and come join me up on the stand? Aiden Hastings, Emily Perry, Hayden Butler, Jackson Banner, Jordan Anderson, Madison Hornback, Nikki Lower, Spencer Ricksecker, Taylor Randall, Thomas Huber, and Tyler Burton. All right. Cool. We all have our people up here. Okay, then the way this is going to work is we're going to head and start off with Azam Massey, one of our service coordinators. I'll have a hand for Azza as she walks up so she can feel nice and self-conscious. And she'll start us off talking about Aiden Hastings.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Aiden's service coordinator. During his time at ScenicView, Aiden has ridden many different waves of change. Change is often difficult, but we like to celebrate change for the opportunity they bring for us to grow. And Aiden has persevered to work on many skills that were new to him when he started ScenicView. One of his biggest accomplishments at ScenicView was working diligently with his teachers to earn his high school diploma. His math teacher, Terry, has seen Aiden learn that a task once difficult can become easier with consistent effort. As he pursues further education after ScenicView, we're sure this will be a skill that continues to help him reach his goals, not just in education, but throughout his whole life. Aiden truly embodies a love for learning and sharing the knowledge that he acquires with others. On that note, Aiden also really takes the time to get to know students, whether they've been here a while, whether they're new, takes the time to get to know all the staff and just really makes everyone feel special. So thank you for that, Aiden. He's also motivated to improve his stress management skills. This has been a big area of focus for him. When I have spoken with other staff about Aiden's progress at ScenicView, many have remarked at just how much he has grown in this area. So specifically, that looks like him utilizing, new coping skills, getting practice, getting more comfortable with them. On multiple occasions during this last term, Aiden has also initiated conversations about his transition after ScenicView, just to help him feel more prepared for that big next step. And then even though some of those conversations were stressful, Aiden really did his best to use those coping skills that he has learned here to stay focused and make awesome plans for your future. We're very proud of the progress that you've made, Aiden, and wish you all the best as you continue to develop these lifelong skills. And so how many minutes do you have till graduation? 0, right? Yeah, so congratulations. Let's give Aiden a round of applause. Did you want to come on?
Do you want to stand here? Okay. So we would. ScenicView Academy, on recommendation of the service coordinator and the authorization of the executive director, hereby recognizes Aiden Hastings as a ScenicView Academy graduate and extends its warmest congratulations for the skills development and self-mastery represented by this achievement, granting this certificate as evidence thereof dated the 20th day of April 2023. Let's have a hand for Aiden. And then then they want to take a Olivia, did you get a picture with? Okay, we'll take a quick picture, and then if you want to say something, you're welcome to.
Congrats.
Well, thank you all for the great journey I had through ScenicView, and even though I couldn't really do anything outside programming for a year and a half, it was well worth being here because I met so many people that I would never have met had I not come here. I'm just so grateful to have met all of you.
Thank you so much, Aiden. Our next remarks will be given by Lauren, and she will be talking to us about Emily Perry.
Okay, it's my pleasure to get to talk about Emily. She has been amazing to work with while she's been here at ScenicView. Something about Emily is she's very friendly and she's very fun to be around. I think she's been a wonderful addition here at ScenicView while she's been here. Something about Emily is she has a lot of different talents, and one of the ones that she's probably best known for here at ScenicView has been playing the bass. And I remember after hearing Emily play for the first time, I was really impressed to find out when she told me that she hadn't been playing for that long, but that she'd been working really hard, diligently in the band, practicing on her own, to be able to prepare for the band's performances, and it absolutely paid off. And she's been in the band since the beginning, almost the beginning of her time here at ScenicView, and so it's been fun to watch her perform. While here at ScenicView, she worked in the custodial department, and while she was working there, she was entrusted in training the new students that started working. And when she and I would review each week, talking about how her work was going, she would always remark how much she enjoyed training new students and helping them learn how to do the job. And so I think she gained some really great leadership skills that is definitely going to be helpful for her in the future. Something else about Emily is her great goal-setting skills that she has, that she worked hard to build while she was here. And she would recognize areas that she wanted to work on. She would come up with a plan, whether it was with me or another staff member, and then she would implement it. And when we would work through her goals, I was always impressed how willing she was to work on these things, to come up with plans, and how successful she was at achieving them. I'm excited for Emily as she goes forward, continuing on in her education goals. She's spent a lot of time while she's been here at ScenicView to prepare to go back to school, and I'm excited for her to go back and start working, getting back on that path towards being a mortician. I think she's going to do awesome. I'm really excited for you, Emily, and all the goals and all the progress you can keep going, so congratulations.
Let's get a picture here. Did we ever have Hayden Butler show up? He's at work. Oh. We will get him his certificate afterward. I guess there are things more important than a graduation ceremony, like keeping a job. I don't know who taught him that, but no, it's awesome. So, okay, if we're not going to have Hayden then, our next up will be Emma, who will be coming up to talk to us about our very own Jackson banner.
I haven't worked with Jackson very long, so I got to reach out to some of the other staff to hear some stories about him. One of his previous service coordinators, Caitlin, talked about how Jackson just showed up at ScenicView with a very caring heart, and I agree with that. You can tell how much he cares about the other students here, how much he cares about his family, and just wants everyone to feel loved and noticed. We've also noticed how responsible Jackson is. One of my first interactions with him was when he emailed all of us staff to tell us that he was going on a family vacation at the end of March. But when he emailed us, it was the beginning of January. So we were very grateful for the update, marked our calendars, and noted that he was going to be gone at the end of March. Something that our clinical director shared was about how people enjoy being around Jackson. He said he is driven to accomplish the goals he sets for himself, even though they may be difficult sometimes. He has demonstrated that he has the courage to face his fears to move forward. And then his budgeting specialist and outside ed specialist, Rachel, said, Jackson is someone who cares deeply about his family, especially his baby nephew. He lights up when speaking about spending time with his family. His goals at Scenic View have been to not only improve his own life and independence, but to make his family proud. Jackson has goals in life to work with art and computers and has found a program at MTech where he can make art a career. Jackson has worked at SVA Academy as an aide and made a difference in the lives of many other individuals. Congratulations, Jackson.
All right, without further ado, we'll have Caitlin come up and talk about our next graduate, Jordan Anderson.
Hello. So I feel like this is a really special day for Jordan. I think that it took some time for him during his time at Scenic View to really kind of step in and take that responsibility for his life and how much he wants to succeed and actualize his hopes and dreams. And I feel like that's really strong in him right now. I'm really proud of his accomplishments and how he has risen to the challenges that we've placed before him. And so there's a Brené Brown quote that says, owning our story and loving ourselves through the process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. And I feel like Jordan is brave, and he's insightful, he's incredibly intelligent, a good friend, and can pick up any hobby from woodworking to baking bread. Through gaining a job and getting an off-campus apartment and learning how to manage his time, he hasn't really embodied several of the empowerment statements that we have here at ScenicView Academy. And I think that he is a great example of, always having a choice in how you impact your life. He really understands his strengths and weaknesses, and I think that he is in charge of his future. So myself and many others here at Scenic View are really proud of you, Jordan, and congratulations.
Stand right over here. Got the microphone stand in the way. Yes.
Hi. So, in the 3 years since I came to Scenic View, if there's one thing I've learned, it's about overcoming struggles. And that's kind of what embodied my entire, I started off coming out in the middle of 2020, May, where there's just, in the middle of COVID, they had all these restrictions. It was an ordeal just to go from class to class. And what I've picked up over that time has just been the knowledge and confidence in myself that I can overcome hard things and that I can work on things myself. Moreover, with the staff here and the team that's helped support me and my fellow students who have taught me that I'm not the only one who thinks like this, who does this specific way, whose mind goes that direction, it has helped me really feel like I've made my place in the world and that I've truly started actually living in a lot of ways. One of the major accomplishments I had while at Scenic View was that I managed to get my associate's degree. It was a struggle, and it took me a long period of time and a lot of heartache and mental stress to get as far as I had. But while at ScenicView, they managed to help me and get through this last part, the last stretch, and I'm now a proud graduate of U of U. Anyway, I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who has been a part of my experience here at ScenicView. And for those of you who are starting here at ScenicView, it's going to be difficult. You're going to hate it. You're going to love it. So it will be worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. All right, we're going to call Lauren back up again. She's going to be getting a lot of steps in today as she talks to us about our very own Maddie Hornback.
I'm back. I've really enjoyed working with Maddie for the past few terms. Any staff member that you talk to that has worked with Maddie could tell you that just how enjoyable she is to work with and how funny she is. Maddie has got such a quick wit, and I can't think of a single meeting that I had with Maddie that she didn't just have us both laughing. Something about Maddie is an amazing cook and has mastered cooking all sorts of complicated meals, especially ones with seafood, as those are some of her favorites. We spent a lot of service coordination meetings talking about all the recipes that Maddie made, the things that she made with her family, and the new things that she wanted to try and tackle. She was always wanting to try new things and have new experiences that way. Maddie's also really amazing at crafts, and she's usually got a few projects going at a time. And she participated in the craft club for the past few terms and was a great addition to the club there too. Something I really admire about Maddie is her ability to set goals. Most of the time, what would happen is Maddie would recognize something that she'd want to change. She'd start thinking through what she wanted to do. She'd already come up with a solution and have implemented it, and then she'd come and meet with me, and she'd say, well, I have this problem, and I've already figured out how to solve it, so this is what I'm doing. And I would be like, okay, well, I've got nothing to do here. You're just doing it already, so this is something that that is definitely going to be really helpful for her in the future with her goals. For almost about a year now, Maddie has been working at Neaters and has gained a lot of great work skills. One of the goals that Maddie had at one point was to be able to lift 50 pounds over her head so she could become a baker at Neaters. And I found out that today that through all that hard work, she was able to do that. So I hope that she's going to be lifting really big sacks of flour and sugar soon. With her passion for cooking, Maddie has plans to go on to culinary school and further improve her baking and be able to work in the culinary field. And so I'm really excited for her to continue achieving her dreams and her goals and keep working towards that. I'm also really excited for her to be united with her cat Letty again and that they can have lots of fun times together. So just keep moving forward, Maddie. We're excited to see where you go. Congratulations.
All right. And we don't pressure anybody to talk, so we'll be moving through to the cookies quickly. It'll be great. We're going to switch things up just a little bit, and our next graduate will be Steve White, talking about Spencer Ricksecker.
Hi, so I hope you'll bear with my voice here and bear with my lack of preparation. I literally racked my brain up until about 30 minutes ago trying to think of things to say about Spencer. Not that there aren't any. It's just Spencer's progress in his financial skills are nothing less than just legendary. The man he went from just how is he going to manage these things out on his own to shining, and I'm just so proud, and I get a little bit emotional as well, just because even with that, there are so many things that, you know, I wish there was time to speak with him about. And so I'm in this position to where all I can think of is just to find the best advice I can give you for the future. So, and I think part of that advice is for me as well, and it's about things that it's partly about letting go of some things, and if you'll bear with me, about letting some things about you even die. And I know this is a happy occasion, and so I want you to understand what I mean about that. And the best way I can think about it is it's what I usually go back to. It's with a gardening metaphor. And so when you're gardening, I'm sure you'll notice that there are these pests, and they're vile little things. They crawl along the ground and all over the hard work that you're trying to accomplish. And their whole lives are spent on consuming and eating and devouring and maximizing their comforts. And they literally look like little walking digestive tracts with legs. You know, that's their whole purpose. And then one day, they stop and they go into what I can only describe as a tomb. And then all of those things that were difficult about them, all of those things that were self-serving, those things die in that tomb. And what emerges from that is something beautiful that takes flight and, in every sense of the word, touches the heavens. And they go from something that consumes and devours to something that pollinates and brings life to the very things that they were destroying before. And their life stops being about themselves. That part has died. It starts to be about others and giving back and providing beauty and meaning to the world. And so I think, Spencer, the amount of time we've spent together in class and out of class can be measured in days and not hours. And I'm so glad I was there to see you at the beginning, when you always had that option behind you to go home, to go back with family, and it was always a fallback. And then one day you just decided you would let that die, and that you would take that step, that great risk, and move out on your own. And now you're in a beautiful apartment. And I was privileged to go and meet you weekly out there. And as we spoke, I was privileged again to ask how your finances were going. And you told me that that item that you really, really wanted, that you could never afford, you were going to hold off again because you needed to pay your rent, and you had utilities to pay, and And I was so proud that you let that go. And this term, when you went out and got that job, it was more hours, it was harder work, and you let go of convenience and comfort. And those things are gone. And finally, I think it was just recently, it was just a few weeks ago, you told me that you were finally able to afford that after months of budgeting. You were able to stand up on your feet and still pay your bills and have money left over. And so I'm happy to say that you've let that go and that you've embraced a better life. So I think you deserve a round of applause. Thanks.
Oh, can we take a couple steps this way? Sorry. I'm good with that. All right. We're going to go back because Nikki came. So we're going to have Caitlin come down and talk to us about Nikki Lower, our next graduate.
Hello again. So there was one thing that really came to mind when I was thinking about talking about Nikki, and it's something that we actually focus on a lot here at ScenicView, which is resiliency, and particularly our empowerment statement of "I can do hard things." So I feel that Nikki has more resilience, hope, and passion for her future ideas than most people I have ever met. She has overcome a number of personal challenges during her journey at ScenicView, even while attending BYU for a certain portion of that. She is not just resilient, though. She is smart, detail-oriented, extremely creative, ambitious, and great at modifying plans when a new challenge arises. Nikki does not give up on herself and will continue to succeed in her future beyond graduation. And I really feel that she exemplifies the quote, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." And I feel, if anything, the things that Nikki has experienced during her journey here and in her own personal life have made her stronger and more resilient, and I have no doubt that she will have a great future. So congratulations, Nikki. We're proud of you.
Apologies for like the last second entrance, but so they told me I could say a few words, and I wasn't really sure what to say at first, just because, like Caitlin said, I've had a lot of nonsense happening, and so I wasn't quite sure what my final takeaway from ScenicView was, but I was flipping through some things that I wrote several years ago, where I was still kind of getting used to the idea of being on the spectrum and like what all of that entailed, because I wasn't diagnosed until I was 23, and so I was still kind of trying to figure out what it was that I needed to do in order to succeed. And there was a point in 2016 and 2017, it was like my first year or two at college, and I was getting increasingly frustrated at the way that like things could happen to me, and because of some of like the automatic like neurological and physiological responses that are kind of baked into autism, it's like something could happen and I wouldn't necessarily get a say in whether or not I broke down, or if I was able to like keep holding a conversation with someone, or if it sent me into a shutdown. It felt like there was a lot of cause and effect that I didn't get a ton of say in. And I also felt like I didn't know very many people on the spectrum. This was before I'd been introduced to like what ScenicView was and everything like that. And that combined with the fact that even if I did know individuals on the spectrum, there was like, because there is such a wide standard deviation when it comes to people on the spectrum, it's like you line up a bunch of quote unquote normal people and there'll be a lot more overlap of like how they respond to things, how they think about things, just because like biology found a way to make a brain work and it mostly stuck to that because it worked, versus with an autistic people, like there's a lot of variation in how people respond or what they're sensitive to or how they like the way that their personality and their behavior has been shaped. And so it was really, really isolating because it didn't matter if I managed to make friends, it felt like there was always gonna be this inherent divide between me, between teachers, between supports, even between me and my family, because there was something that I couldn't figure out how to explain and they just didn't have any experience with. And so it felt like I was this little island that couldn't connect to things. And I wrote a poem in one of my creative writing classes that kind of captured that, and I wanted to read it and then kind of give a new spin on the ending, because this was written in a period before I experienced the different supports and things that I've learned here at ScenicView. And just as a warning, there is a gun metaphor in it, so just like fair warning. It's strange how easy it is to forget that the pulses that cause my heart to beat and my lungs to fill find their origin in pathways that fail to follow orders. It's strange how I can fool myself into thinking that I'm ordinary until I hear the click of a safety and the chambering of a round. A bullet forged from syllables that, once fired, embeds itself just behind my left lung, the metal tip of spoken words brushing the inside edge of my ribs, unable to be dug out without reducing all in its wake to chaos. It's strange how disposable words can force me to remember what they would that I never forget. I am weighed and I am measured just like the bullet, and only one of us is found wanting. It's strange how demons wielding guns haunt my days and withhold my nights, repulsed by the constructs that hold me together, the masks and the voices that I carry with me to shield me from their bullets and their eyes. I am captive, held tight within a void of my own biology, an island of neurology in a sea of normality. And yet, is it strange against the sea and against the bullets that which could touch me, that which could fill this void with heartbeats, possesses no heart but a cluster of words. Words melted not into bullets but shields. Words that paint ghosts, that chase away demons and leave no fingerprints. But it is strange that some days I walk among them and other days they do not exist, because they could never exist, because I blink and they are gone, and I do not know if my burden is worse for the easing. I was focused a lot on how I could find connection and a sense of belonging, mostly in stories and books and TV shows and the just the different ways that different experiences can be presented in a story and be a lot easier to connect with than a person could be. And like I do still have an easier time connecting with like fictional things as well, but there is there's a story in the back of one of my favorite comic books from it's the very first edition of Loki, Agent of Asgard from 2014, where the author is telling the story of this old, like really old Thor comic where they're fighting some world-ending thing, and it's bad enough that Thor, Odin, and Loki are all teamed up on the same side. And they're charging into battle, and they're yelling their battle cries, and Odin yells for Asgard, Thor yells for Midgard, and Loki yells for myself. And the author says, it's a comedy moment, obviously. It's meant to show how selfish and venal Loki is, that even in this hour of peril, he's got nothing to swear himself to but his own skin. But when the whole of your reality would rather see you as something you're not anymore, when the whole universe wants to crush you down into a little box with a label on it and nail the lid down, when yourself is a thing that you have to fight the very cosmos to decide, well, suddenly it's not quite so funny. Suddenly it's almost kind of heroic. And this idea of being able to take charge of the things that I can, and like there'll still be things that maybe they're obstacles that I don't have the resources to deal with right now, or maybe they're things that I will just legitimately never be able to deal with the way that a more typical individual could. But regardless of the connections I do or do not make, regardless of the connections that I make, being able to understand me like 100% perfectly, myself is still something important and special to be. And a couple weeks ago, for a video that ScenicView did for Autism Acceptance Month, they were getting us to like answer a bunch of questions about our experiences at ScenicView and with autism and whatnot. And the last question is like, what do you feel you've like learned at ScenicView? And I couldn't quite figure out how to articulate it, because like I said, I have a lot of, I still don't 100% know like exactly how I feel about the last 3 years. But I did learn that it's okay for things to be hard. It's okay to reset. If things aren't working, it's okay to try something different. It's okay to have a support system. It's okay to want help. It's okay to not fit, and it's okay to want to fit. It's okay to want a say in how your life goes, even if a lot of it is stuff you can't control. It's okay to want to be more than what you are now, and it's okay to struggle with things you're supposed to be good at. It's okay to be you and to have the brain and body that you have. And yeah, I hope that the rest of the like future graduates or whatever, the people who are still hanging on, that you guys are able to figure out who you are and what kind of story that is. And yeah.
Okay. You guys are going to make me cry. We're going to have Lauren come back up for our next two. So she's waiting in the wing here. Our next graduate will be Taylor Randall and then Thomas Huber.
Okay. So one of the goals that Taylor said he had for this graduation speech was that he wanted me to make him laugh. So I hope that I can do that for him. No promises though, Taylor. I'll try. I've already got you. So Taylor and I have been working together over the past year, and I've really enjoyed getting to know him and working with him. Taylor has one of the funniest senses of humor and just knows how to just just push your buttons. I really appreciate Taylor's go with the flow attitude and willingness to try new things that staff had recommended to him, even if it wasn't necessarily something he wanted to. Okay, most of the time. I do think I recall Taylor telling me, heck no, when I asked if he wanted to try yoga one term. One thing most people know about Taylor is that he is an avid reader. I always had to hear about how his reading was going, and if you ever wanted to know his to-be-read list, it was a picture, and it was like probably this high. Tons of reading, and he'd show me his progress from week to week, and I would just be so amazed how much progress he made every week. He regularly took the top spot in the big read, and anyone who knows Taylor would not be shocked by that at all. Definitely has inspired me to read more, for sure. Taylor has gained really great skills with transportation, budgeting, daily living, work. He's worked really hard at just being able to do all the things, all the living things that being able to take care of himself is what he would say. One other thing about Taylor that I really admire too is his ability to roll with the changes. And that's going to be something that's going to serve you a lot, because if there is one thing that is certain about life, Taylor, it's that it will change. Taylor had lots of change hit him, especially while getting housing, he could tell you that. And he handled all of those changes like a champ and just really pushed through them and had a really positive attitude, even though it was really hard. Taylor, I'm really excited for you to see what you do going forward. One thing to know about Taylor is when I would ask him about what goals he wanted to set or things he wanted to do, say, I'll do stuff, or I'll figure things out. And so Taylor, I am excited for you. I hope that you leave Scenic View feeling like you have learned some stuff about some things and that you can figure things out. So go out there, keep learning stuff, keep trying things, and just don't stop trying your hardest.
All right, and then now for Thomas.
All right. Okay, I've also worked with Thomas for about the last year. Thomas has such a bright smile and contagious laugh that can brighten anybody's day here, and I know everybody here could agree with that. I wanted to share one of my favorite memories from working with Thomas. And I'm sure he knows exactly what story I'm going to tell. It's one I laugh about all the time still. So one day during the end of summer, kind of between the terms, he came to my office and was talking to me about his week. And I asked him how things were going, and he says, I think I might have accidentally run a half marathon this week. And I don't know about any of you, but I know I would never be able to say that I've accidentally run a half marathon. And so I had to ask him what he did and how that happened. So he told me that when he goes running, he says he just looks for a spot and he runs toward it until he reaches it. And as I've looked back on Thomas's time at Scenic View, I think this is similar to how he encounters challenges in his own life and his goals. Something about Thomas is that he's very conscious of how he wants to improve and the things that he wants to do, and he sets tons of goals. With staff, with me, in all of his areas that he was working on, he would set goals in all the areas he wanted to work on. And the thing about Thomas is with the hard work he put in, he was able to make significant progress and had really great success. So like running, when Thomas sees the goal, he runs towards it, and he doesn't stop until he gets there. And one thing is he never gives up. I loved getting to see Thomas try lots of new things while he's been here at ScenicView, from Spanish to learning to play the guitar, doing creative writing, which he sent out tons of poems and different stories that he wrote, and they were always really impressive, to even trying Dutch oven. No matter how new or how challenging it would be, Thomas takes on these challenges, these new interests, and gives it his all. His perseverance and hard work pays off, and it's just really impressive to see how much work he puts into things he puts his mind to. And if there's anything that anybody could tell you is how hard of a worker Thomas is, especially the jobs that he's worked at, whether it was here on campus, when he worked at the car dealership, and now at his job at Mountainland, he proves himself that he's a hard worker, and he's definitely recognized for it. So Thomas, I hope that you take that hardworking spirit with you everywhere you go. I hope you continue dedicating yourself to whatever you try, and I hope you can see how much you accomplish with how much effort you put into anything. I know you're going to do really great things in the future, and I know we can't wait to see where you go. So congratulations, Thomas.
I'll keep this short, I promise. I know all of you that are on diets have been looking at those cookies and chocolate milk since you first walked in. There isn't really much to say that has already been said. First of all, I'd like to thank my parents for their constant support and sacrifice for me being at this school. I'd like to thank the staff and for their diligence and hard work, to the students and the worlds of neurodiversity. Thank you for everyone that has been in my corner. It must have been hard dealing with people that are neurodiverse. This is one of the main things that I've learned at my time being here. I will share what I've wrote. I'll tell you guys what I've learned these past short 2 years. I've learned that normal does not exist, nor does perfect. As I type this letter, I look at God's special angels, the outcast, the deaf, the lame, the handicapped, as some would say. I have had the privilege to walk among them. Most of the people that I've looked up to said that there's something different about my school and my ward. These are some of the most intelligent people, but yet some of the most bullheaded people I've ever met. Despite what the world calls smart, everyone's a genius in one aspect or another. It could be D&D, anime, physics, etc. No one is normal, and that's a good thing. You are unique. Every single one of you, all of us have been dealt with a bad card in life, but that does not mean our hand is bad. It is poisonous to play the victim card. Trust me, I know. Often we feel bad for ourselves, and sometimes rightfully so. There is a reason for everything, though, even pain and sadness. Without sadness, how would we know what happiness is? Just like most soldiers on the battlefield say, it's not about you, it is about the people right beside you and the ones that will come after. There will be rough times, but there will be good times. But it's in the moment that you're at your lowest that is detrimental. It's up to you and only you, but you are never alone. I have a few quotes that I've written. Be friendly, but trust few. It is the few that will help you when you need it the most. Here's another one. Have compassion on yourself and others, young man, because everyone is special and different in their own way. Alas, our journey has come to an end, but yours is about to begin. An old mountaineer. Thank you.
You guys are killing it with these remarks. It's awesome. Last but not least, we'll have Emma come up one more time and talk to us about Tyler Barton. When we're done with Tyler, then we'll have an introduction to our alumni services and some final remarks, and we'll be done for tonight.
We're almost done, I promise. The past few months, I've gotten to work with Tyler and get to know him a little bit better. I think one of the biggest things that I have noticed is how much he cares. He lives in the fourplex on campus, which is kind of a unique setting, And I've seen how much he cares about his roommates, whether that's helping them out with their chores or when they're sick, making sure that the staff is aware. And I've seen that also with his friends and his family. I know a lot of you are here today to support him, that he cares a lot about people and he wants to make everyone proud. I've also seen how dependable Tyler is. He's been working at Smith's for the last little while, and he'd pick up extra shifts when Smith's would let him. I just know that he's a reliable worker, and I know that's going to serve him well in his future. Janae, our housing coordinator, shared a little bit about Tyler as well, about how he embodies 3 empowerment statements. First, I am worthy of respect and connection. Tyler is kind and tender-hearted and a joy to be with. His easy smile and pleasant interactions make it rewarding to connect with him. Friends and staff of a variety of personality types want to be around him. In turn, he shows respect to others and enjoys their friendship. Second, we all need each other. I don't know how this all turned out, but I know he was initiating some cleaning systems and working with the cleaning specialist in the fourplex to motivate his roommates to keep their place clean. He also is really big into D&D, and he ran a campaign for, I believe, over a year, and he was very, very committed to that campaign. And then finally, joy in the journey. Tyler needs his space, but I would still say that he is a people person. His sense of humor is quick and pleasant. He can show his wry bit of sarcasm that points out the ridiculous in a situation, and then he moves on and addresses it. He stays calm under pressure, especially in the last month, as he's faced difficult housing challenges and decisions. He takes his time to process, but he doesn't lash out, blame, show anger. When time was pressing on him, he took action and demonstrated his independence and self-advocacy. So I just want to echo what Janae said. I know that the last month has been a wild ride, and I'm so excited to see what your future brings, Tyler, because I know that as you apply yourself and put forth all that effort, there's a lot of exciting things in your future. Congratulations.
I just want to take this time to say thank you to everyone that had my back and supported me through this time, whether they knew it or not. Those in the background and those that just seeing their face in a picture helped me get through things. And the conversations that I had with people as well. I have a hard time asking for help, and being here has helped me realize that I can ask for help even if I don't feel worthy of that. I guess just to end this, for the 100th time, Mitchell, we are okay.
Aren't our graduates amazing? Let's have another hand for our graduates. So when you talk at a graduation is kind of an end, but it means to move to, right? The next level. And they call it a commencement speaker because it's also a beginning. So we're going to have Carrie, our next level alumni coordinator, come up and talk about some new beginnings here for you. And hopefully put in a plug for our upcoming autism convention as well. Let's have a hand for Carrie, our alumni coordinator.
Thank you. So one of the fun things about working at a place with lots of neurodivergent people is that we kind of get one another. So we've been sitting for a long time. If anybody needs to stand up and wiggle, by all means, that is a-okay here. And one of the differences between ADHD and autism is. Autism likes to look at the big picture and look out here, where autism kind of likes to focus on the details. And especially a lot of our students have been working really hard and white-knuckling their way through their experience here that sometimes they don't see the big picture. And so I wanted to point out some big picture items. So if you are an alumni of ScenicView Academy, will you stand up for me? There's some out in the hallway too. So one of the things that makes ScenicView unique is that we are a community here. Students come and they are working with other students, they're working with staff, they are learning from each other, they are helping one another, they're befriending one another. And we start to learn this idea that a community isn't just a place beyond ScenicView where we're trying to get you to live, but it's also a group of people that share the same belief system. Some folks have a religious belief system, or a religious community, or some people belong to the LGBTQ community. Like, a community is someplace where you feel like you belong, and where your contribution matters, and where you're all working toward the same goal. And that's what's magic about ScenicView. People often comment about the feeling here, and there's something about ScenicView that's magic, and that's the magic right there, is everyone in this room is working towards the same goal, and that is to make the world a better place for folks with the neurodivergence. And so just because you are leaving this building, all y'all, you are not leaving the ScenicView community. And we want you to know that you are always welcome here. And we love to see so many of our alumni come back and cheer each other on, because they have laid, those of you who are that are alumni, because of your hard work and the things that you did while you were here at ScenicView, you helped us, ScenicView, build a reputation with the Provo Housing Authority as good tenants, good renters, people who take care of their apartment and are responsible. And those relationships and those examples that you've shown helped the Provo Housing Authority realize that we were a good organization to partner with, and that these folks are going to take care of apartments and are going to be good, responsible tenants. And now we have an apartment building going up downtown Provo with apartments set aside specifically for autistic tenants. And so I want you all, when you see that building, I want you to know that you played a hand in it, you played a role in it by doing your part, by being responsible and paying your rent and taking care of things. You laid that foundation so that others after you can enjoy that wonderful piece of the community. And we need more of that. We can't change the world by ourselves. We need more of you. And families, you too. We need all of you working together to help make this world a better place for people with neurodivergence. We have another apartment building that's going up in Orem as well. That's, again, another step of showing how wonderful the reputation that our students have built in the community for being responsible tenants. And so the most important value that we all share and that I want you to take with you when you leave here is respect and connection. That is how we change the world. By respecting others, whether we like them or not, whether we disagree with them or not, and seeking to actively to build connections with others. That's one of the reasons that ScenicView is able to do what we do, because we partner with landlords in the community. We partner with employees in the community. We're building connections that benefit each other. And I love hearing from alumni. I heard from an alumni just today that said, oh, I saw that Taylor was moving into my building and I helped him move in a little bit. That's the kind of stuff we need out there, you guys. Keep it going. So we are here, even though you're graduating and you've got all these fantastic skills and you're wonderful tenants and people respect you. Hard things happen, bad things come. That's just what life is. #adulting. So we are here for you when you need help. Again, we are your community. So if you need some extra classes, or if you need help finding a new job, or any of those things that you learned here at Scenic View, we are always here for you to help you learn those things and to help you get back on your feet if something happens. And that's what our alumni program is all about. And I've been passing out some info sheets to parents, and if you didn't get one, I'll make sure you get one. But we just want you to continue to work with us, even though we won't see you as often. We want you to know that you are a part of our community, and all of you working together, all of us working together, that's how we change the world, folks. Oh, I forgot. Jared even told me to do this, and I forgot. Coming up in May, we have a really unique event that we do here at Scenic View called AuTCon, which is bringing the autism community together, not just Scenic View, not just our students, but alumni and other autistic adults in the community. It's a conference for autistic adults by autistic adults. So our presenters and our panelists and the people that are there to both teach and learn about autism and being an adult in the world. So we hope that those of you who are alumni will join us again. Students, we hope you'll be there. Families, you're invited as well. But it really is a unique experience to come and be in where autism and neurodivergence is the norm rather than the exception. It's a really special feeling, and we hope that you'll join us then, because you're our community.
Thanks, Carrie. And yeah, graduates, don't be strangers. We hope to see you back for AuTCon. We hope to see you back when you're in the neighborhood. We hope to see you back when you want to come tell us all the cool things going on in your life. And like Carrie said, yeah, life is adulting. It's hard. It's ups and it's downs. It's like that quote I gave at the beginning, that in the midst of winter I found within myself an invincible summer. And what that means is that when it's as dark as it can be, there is a light within you, always. When it's as cold as it can be, there is a warmth and a fire within you that can't be put out. And when you're feeling crushed under whatever weight of snow or whatever else might be burdening you, there is a power within you to grow and to keep growing and to push up through that and to push on and to blossom. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be great, and you wouldn't want it any other way, because a story with no conflict is the most boring thing imaginable. But you're not alone. So hang in there, use the skills you've got, and keep using us, keep using all these amazing people out in the audience. And you guys are going to go on to some amazing and cool things. Thank you, everyone, for being here today to support our graduates. I have one more round of applause for them. And with that, we're going to say thank you for everyone for coming for our winter term graduation. There are cookies on the back table. You're welcome to hang out and talk and to take pictures and whatever all you need to do. But thanks, you guys.